Hey everyone, welcome to Resistance Book Club. My name is Keita, and this here will be Liselle Sambury Reads Volume 1. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. All right, so I read a good amount of Liselle Sambury's works, and I figured, well, better time than now to go ahead and start doing video for it. So with that being said, let's get to the first one. I think I'll go ahead and do her duology first. So we have Blood Like Magic, and this here, uh, after years of waiting for her calling, a trial every witch must pass to come into their powers. The one thing Voya Thomas didn't expect was to fail. When Voya's ancestors give her an unprecedented second chance to complete her calling, she agrees, and then is horrified when her task is to kill her first love. And this time, failure means every Thomas witch will be stripped of their magic. Voya is determined to save her family's magic no matter the cost. The problem is, Voya has never been in love, so for her to succeed, she'll first have to find the perfect guy and fast. Fortunately, a genetic matchmaking program has just hit the market. Her plan is to join the program, fall in love, and complete her task before the deadline. What she doesn't count on is being paired with the infuriating Luke. How can she fall in love with a guy who seemingly wants nothing to do with her? With mounting pressure from her family, Voya is caught between her morality and her duty to her bloodline. If she wants to save their heritage and Luke, she'll have to find something her ancestors want more than blood, and in witchcraft. Blood is everything. So this here, the listenership is 16 hours and 14 minutes, and it is narrated by Jonice Abbott Pratt. Um, this one here, I loved it. It was okay. So I given it at first. I given it a 4 stars. Um, I might change that. Give it like 4.5 stars after I had read the second book. It was done up beautifully from beginning to the end. Love who Voya is, what she's about, her just trying to make these decisions, and like, why is it that I have to do this? Like, I'm not in love with anyone giving me this impossible task to do. But yeah, it was quick, witty, happy the aspects of what a teen, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Teen Witch, all of that stuff. It has all that trappings. Love the I believe her culture. I think she's from the Caribbean, but I'm not too sure which part. Um, can't remember, but definitely the food was given. I was like, yes. Sorry for all that yelling she is playing. um Other than that, a great story, great journey, and in the end, of course, in any aspect of witchcraft, there's always a sacrifice to be made. Is it the one that you like? You ain't gonna like, honey, you ain't gonna like any type of sacrifice, but a sacrifice was made, and you got to deal. um and that's how it goes if you want to keep your magic. And I thought it was a clever story, to add that, like, in order for you to do this, you'll be able to keep the magic, and your family members are able to keep their magic. And while she's going on, trying to figure out what to do, her family's members are looking at her like, girl, we want our magic, so you better do the thing that you said you were going to do. Okay. So, with that being said, in Bloodlight Fate, here's the synopsis. Voya Thomas may have passed her calling to become a full fledged witch, but the cost was higher than she ever imagined. Her grandmother is gone, her cousin hates her, and her family doesn't believe that she has what it takes to lead them. What's more, Voya can't let go of her feelings for Luke, sponsor son of the Gene's billionaire Justin Tremblay, the man that Luke believes Voya killed. Consequently, Luke wants nothing to do with her. Even her own ancestors seem to have lost faith in her. Every day, Voya begs for their guidance, but her calls go unanswered. As Voya struggles to convince everyone, herself included, that she can be a good matriarch, she has a vision of a terrifying, deadly future. A vision that would spell the end of the Toronto witches. With a newfound sense of purpose, Voya must do whatever it takes to bring her shattered community together and stop what's coming for them before it's too late, even if it means taking down the boy she loves, who might be the mastermind behind the coming devastation. So the listenership for this is 15 hours and 48 minutes. And again, it is narrated by Jonice Abbott Pratt. This one here, it took me a minute because it felt long to me, but it really wasn't a long book. Like it just felt like it really wasn't going anywhere. Felt slow, but I think that was just only because of what she was dealing with her family, because her family was like totally, she felt like her family was totally against her in the fact that, hey, you're not doing such a good job trying to delegate and be the matriarch of this family. Um, like what are we here for? So it was a lot of that going on. And I believe like in this whole sponsor thing, I think there was somewhat like cloning and memory transferring and all this other stuff. I wish it was touched up a little bit more. So, with that being said, I gave this here a 4 stars. It still wasn't bad, but I felt like it was touched up on in the first book. I needed more, and I was getting confused. So I didn't want to. It's not so much as like taking too many points off for that. I got it, but I think the details of it is still a little vague in the books in the duology. Um because I didn't know if this was a real thing. You know what I mean? Like I didn't understand many parts of this that could have been explained had, more details of this about sponsorship and things like that and the cloning and stuff. You know, it was just weird. Only part I got was the magic, really. But I just wished it was a little bit more. Um, the continuation of it, that one was good. You know how we start off and it just continues on from, I believe it like couple of months had went by from the first book into the second book. And in the ending I enjoyed. Like the very last act of it was actually pretty. It was pretty good. That was a banger. That was really a banger. I needed more of that. I needed more of that. So there was some pros and cons to it, but overall it was still a decent duology. Now, how I would rate it, I would actually give this a 3.5 or 3.75 only because there was a lot of like, I just think like there could have been certain parts in there that could have been explained a little bit more. Pacing was a little off in that second one, but we really did so well in that first book. But that second book was like it was a doozer in the first two acts of it, and then the third one we was picking up like we was going. So yeah, yeah. Other than that, it was still decent. It was still decent. Next one is Tender Beasts. So Sunny Bear has 4 siblings, but only one is a murderer. With the death of Sunny's mother, matriarch of the wealthy Bear family, Sunny's once picture perfect life is thrown into turmoil. Her mother had groomed her to be the family's next leader, so Sunny is confused when the only instructions her mother leaves is a mysterious note: take care of Dom. The problem is, her youngest brother Dom has always been a near stranger to Sunny, and seemingly a dangerous one, if found guilty of his second-degree murder charge. Still, Sunny is determined to fulfill her mother's dying wish, but when a classmate is gruesomely murdered and Sunny finds her brother with blood on his hands, Her mother's simple request becomes a lot more complicated. Dom swears he's innocent, and although Sunny isn't sure she believes him, she takes it upon herself to look into the murder, made all the more urgent by the discovery of another body and another. As Sunny and Dawn work together to track down the culprit, Sunny realizes her other siblings have their own dark secrets. Soon she may have to choose preserve the family she's always um protect the brother she barely knows, and risk losing everything her mother worked so hard to build. Listenership is 12 hours and 28 minutes, and it is narrated by Kimberly Woods. Man, Man, they said this here is more like the taking of Jake Livingston and Ace of Spades. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. More like the taking of Jake Livingston. Yeah, I can see the Ace of Spades, but this one here had creep vibes. Like this here was horror. Like this was horror. So yeah, it's more so on the taking of Jake Livingston. This one here was actually really good. When I got to the end, I was like, ooh, but I figured it out. I just wanted to see how they executed it. I figured it out maybe like two chapters before, and then I think maybe I changed my mind about who I thought it really was. But yeah, it was yeah, that twist at the end. And even so, that ending was given. That ending was given. So with that being said, that one is like a literal 4.75 for me. Like it was killer. Like that one I love. I love that one. Um it's just, you know, it's like kid thing, the sibling. I love the sibling part of that one was great. I love the family vibes, that it was given. The school and all that other stuff. Like it was given. Um it's just sometimes I feel like maybe I'm missing something in the book when Sambury be writing. But I don't think anything went over my head. Maybe I was just like overthinking it. But that ending was given. Like I loved it. I would love to see that on screen, to be honest. But yeah, everything about it was so great. Sunny, great. Dom, great. Like the confusion, the back and forth. She don't know like how to talk to him, but it's like something more sinister is like literally going on that she has no clue about, why her mom has left her to know, why her mom has completely groomed her to be the matriarch of the family. um why is all of this pressure to be put on this young girl to pretty much be the glue of the family? Like it was really good, and to keep the family legacy alive. And so yeah, but at the end, yeah, that ending, just that last act alone is what's great. I really really thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, it was almost a 5, but I feel like could have been a little bit of extra oomph into it, but I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it. Now, last one. We already know. Come on now. We know this. Delicious monsters. What? What? Let's read the synopsis. Daisy sees dead people. Something impossible to forget in bustling ghost packed Toronto. She usually manages to deal with her unwanted ability, but she's completely unprepared to be dumped by her boyfriend. So when her mother inherits a secluded mansion in northern Ontario, where she spent her childhood summers, Daisy jumps at the chance to escape. But the house is nothing like Daisy expects, and she begins to realize that her experience with the supernatural might be no match for her mother's secret, nor what lurks within these walls. A decade later, a decade later, Brittany is desperate to get out from under the thumb of her abusive mother. A best selling author who claims her stay at Miracle Mansion allowed her to see the error of her ways. But Brittany nothing knows that's nothing but a sham. She decides the new season of her popular haunted web series will uncover what happened to a young black girl in the mansion 10 years prior and finally expose her mother's lies. But as she gets more wrapped up in the investigation, she'll have to decide if she can only bring one story to light, which one matters most, Daisy's or her own. As Brittany investigates the mansion in the present, Daisy's story runs parallel in the past, both timelines propelling the girls to face the most dangerous monsters of all, those that hide in plain sight. Listenership is 15 hours and 12 minutes, and it is narrated by Sandra Akuboyeho and Angel Peen. I hope I said that right. Angel Peen or Payne. Um, this joint here, 5 freaking stars. Because now it had already had gotten 5 stars when I had read it then. But clearly I can see like this here was on a whole nother level. I love the parallel stories between Brittany and Daisy. I love the whole idea of doing a haunted web series with her best friend, Brittany. Brittany and her best friend. I forgot the young man's name. And I love how it was just being unpacked layer for layer for layer. That's how you write a story, the parallel story that is happening between two young women, black women, and in that have suffered abuse and or uncovering abuse in a different way. Everything about it was just it was amazing. Like that experience, just listening to it was absolutely amazing. Like it really was. It really was. And I ate it up. Um Even like getting to the uncovering of it, like just that last act alone, amazing. Flawless. Like flawless. I couldn't even tell you anything else. Everything about it was just flawless. But I love that transition from Daisy's story to Brittany's story and how it was just like literally lining up perfectly. Man, that was beautiful. Ooh, child, that was beautiful, man. Oh Lord, that was beautiful. But yeah, so now with that being said, let's just get to the author. Her writing, I can see she is so good at writing third acts. That's where her strong suit is. Liselle Sambury writes perfect third acts. We tend to fall off in the second act. Sometimes she does great in the first act. Um, but I see that it only happens when in this duology because Tender Beasts and Delicious Monsters and Blood Like Magic, like first, second, and third was great. But when she gets to that third act B, it's dropping bombs. Like it's so good. Now with that being said, her character development in all of her books, I would have to say she's more is more stronger in Delicious Monsters. Um and then also, you know what? Yeah, in all of them, they are. But I would have to say it's more stronger in Delicious Monsters. And in the duology, you just kind of get the sense of the journey in Voya. So that's no big deal. But in a standalone book, Delicious Monsters is probably like, yeah, when she deals that character development, so good. Um, her it seemed like all of the places. It seemed like it's all in the same place, which is in Canada, Ontario, Canada. So that's always set up in each one of her books. Um, I wish it would change up, but it's okay. If I'm assuming that she lives in Canada, um, the so that means like with the description and everything, I love the descriptions of the places. Yeah, the description of places is pretty on point. I like it. The side characters, they're all great. It always lends something to the story, pushes the story forward, which is always wonderful because that's what they're there to do. But overall, is there a progression in her writing? Um, it's a like sometimes we're here and sometimes we're here. You know what I mean? So it's not like a progression, but I can tell something is different with Delicious Monsters. I feel like maybe that's like her baby, and she just took very good care of it because Tender Beast is her newest novel. And so one can only imagine, like, those two are apples and oranges, but I do love the fact that she takes something and goes with it, and that's wonderful. And it's completely different, but she still has all of that the witchcraft in every single one of her books, and it's cool. Like, I love that. But yeah, I can definitely see there's like an actual witchcraft, ghosts, and there's some type of thriller aspect into it. What else? I love that it's Black woman in every single one of her books. That's always wonderful. I would love to see Delicious Monsters on screen. I really would. Like that one. That one needs to be a TV show though, not a movie. Don't do that as a movie. Do that as a TV show. And yeah, because that one is a big beast of a book. So yeah. But other than that, her logic in it is she executing it in every single one of them. She executes in it to where she's trying to drive it home. But in the duology, I felt like there could have been more, but she did execute that. And then I just wish the other piece that's in there would have been talked about a little bit more for me to understand why we've gotten to this place. And that's that, you know. But other than that, I love her. I love Tender Beast. Like, I can't wait to see what she does in the next one. I'm gonna read that one. Is she an auto buy? Because of what she did with Delicious Monsters and Tender Beast, I'm gonna read something from her. Definitely. Again. Definitely. So yeah, it was great read. I really enjoyed it. I really did. So with that being said, let me know down in the comments if you have read any of the books. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have read Delicious Monsters already. Let me know how y'all feel about it. If some of these books sound interesting, if you wanted to read it, have you read it, all of that. I'm always in the comment section. I will let you know. And I will see you in the next one. This is the way. Peace.